Hello, I'm Emina. I'm a visual artist. I mostly like working with creative direction, art direction. I'm based in London and I'm from Russia. 3 words I would describe myself with: spontaneous, dedicated, Pikachu. What motivates me to create is my visions, my inspiration. Sometimes I just have an idea and I love seeing how it comes to life. And working on that I find very inspirational, and seeing how it becomes alive is also super important for me, and it's just like feels like magic to me. I think London hugely impacted my practice because the person that came here 3 years ago and the person that I am now is completely different. You know, seeing so many different artists around London, the diversity, different work, how creative you can be. Also like collaborating with those people and meeting new people and seeing how perspective can be different. I think it's hugely impacted the way I work and my practice. What's my favorite thing about the Dyas is how colorful it is. I like the prints. I like how you use this drawing, so like it looks like collage. I like how creative that is, and it just like brings me like the joy and fun just even looking at it. So yeah, I think it's really cool.
I'm Adam, I'm 23 and I'm a full-time product designer, furniture designer and antiques collector / curator.
My name is Laura Braithwaite. I go by Seek Happy Days on the internet, and I'm a photographer, creative director and model.
Laura and I met when I returned from a year away in Sweden. We met each other in Nottingham whilst I was at uni, and it's kind of just been fireworks ever since, and then we decided to move to London together and work together. What I admire most about Laura's work is her ability to combat her own disabilities and just go out there with all of her passions and all of her interests that aren't necessarily in her original background, and has just turned it into her own personal brand.
I think my proudest moment of Adam's creative career was when he exhibited his final uni project and immediately got a job with basically his dream company, and they just wanted him really bad.
London living impacts my work creatively because it sometimes highlights societal issues and lack of design fraud that I'd quite love to combat in my future work.
As soon as I decided I wanted to work in this industry, I knew I had to be in London. Since being here, my career skyrocketed. Favourite thing about the Dyas is definitely the sustainability and the combination of art, fashion and sustainability.
My favourite things about the Dyas is the perfect combo of high quality value without exploitation of the people who actually produce the pieces.
I'm Phoebe Minson, I'm 23 and I'm the head of comms at ConArt Global. I'm also a freelance curator, writer, collector and all-round art lover. 3 words I would use to describe myself are overly enthusiastic and optimistic, which is 4, but 3 main words. I'm motivated to create because everything in the world is so interesting, so unique, so beautiful. And as humans, we get to experience this huge range of emotions and experiences. And I just feel like creating is when you get to condense all of those into smaller moments. Yeah, a way of processing emotions, I guess. I'm very biased. London is the best city in the world. And I think that's because it's incredibly diverse. There is so much to do, eat, see, play with. It's just such a fantastic melting pot. There's also just an abundance of galleries. There's always new shows, there's always new artists exhibiting, and it draws some of the best artists from the rest of the world. My favourite thing about the Dyas is not only the quality of the clothes, which are so unbelievably comfortable, but also this idea of wearable art I think is super important in increasing accessibility of art and the kind of understanding of what art can be, what it looks like, how it can affect people and how it can enhance people's lives. So yeah, being able to put art on clothes is just genius and brilliant because it makes us think differently about fashion, and it also makes us think differently about art.
I'm an artist and a vegan chef, born in Jamaica, and I grew up in London. I would say that I'm adventurous, curious, and a lover, maybe? Is that lame? I feel like life motivates me to create the most. It's where I draw most of my inspiration from. In food, it comes from childhood memories, ideas that I have that kind of spark the curiosity in me. And in music, I guess it is just me trying to tell my story, kind of where I am in that present moment, as best as I possibly can. Weirdly, I kind of left the city. I find London to feel quite harsh and a bit intense as a place and a city. And as a creative, I crave quiet. So I tend to try and go to parks, actually, in London, or spaces where I feel like I can be internally quiet, like an art gallery. That's kind of where I feel the most inspired in nature or in art. My favourite thing about Dyas is the colours. I love to wear bright colours in general. I'm drawn to patterns and I'm quite expressive in my clothing.
Hi, I'm Bella Bonner-Evans. I'm a curator. I work at a gallery called Studio West in Notting Hill, where I co-curate the programme with the gallery director. I studied at Goldsmiths doing fine art and history of art, and then moved into fashion and art PR. If I had to describe myself in 3 words, I would say I am thoughtful, creative, and a bit bossy. I'm motivated to create because I think as a curator, it's not really me sort of creating the work, but it's about forming new dialogues and bringing the work into conversation and ultimately platforming the careers of the emerging artists that I think are really, worth recognition, and helping them to kind of bridge the gap between art school and the art industry, which I think is really important and quite often overlooked. With my shows, I hope that they say, something about kind of wider social, political issues at that time, but also that the artists feel really well supported. I think London has been quite influential on the way that I think about my curation practice and also my art journalism as well. I mostly focus on artist space here because then I can see them often in person and really get to know them on a kind of one-to-one level. There's so much to be inspired by, to draw from, to kind of go against if you want to. And I think being in that really kind of rich cultural exchange is really motivating. I really love the Dyas as a brand because I think firstly the emphasis on sustainability is super important. It's not greenwashing, it's authentic and from the beginning. I love the collaborations with artists because I think it's really important for especially young artists to have multiple ways to think about their work. So thinking about their work as, a pattern for an item of clothing, or thinking about making something, that isn't a canvas or isn't a sculpture but still translates what they're trying to say is a really fun and important way for them to develop.